Mission of this video is actually very simple. Make over 50 times of our original capital within 24 hours, and all we'll be using to achieve this target will just be a simple trend line only just a simple trend line. And in as much as this mission actually sounds extremely difficult and extremely complicated, is actually the complete opposite, because I'll be proving it to you right now. And that's because I want to just be explaining to you how this stuff works. I'll be showing you exactly how it works practically currently on live trade, and all of this will be done within 24 hours, so that if you can watch this video from beginning to the end, you should be able to replicate this exact same result. Now, just before we go on, if you're new to this particular YouTube channel, just remember to hit the subscription button, hit the like button, and also remember to turn the notification bell so you don't miss any videos that'll be dropping out from this place. So that not to waste so much time, let's dive in now. Boom. All right, okay guys, so this is exactly what we're having currently. We're not wasting not even a single second today. We're just moving straight to the chart. Now the reason is because the chart is kind of like becoming volatile somehow, and so we don't want formations to actually leave us. Now we'll just be using a gold, and what we'll just be using will just be a $199. That's what we'll be using today, and we'll just be trading on a 50-minute time frame. So you don't have to write it in the comment section there. All we'll just be using, guys, will be a 50-minute time frame, and we'll be using an unlimited leverage also, and we'll be using we'll be using a zero spread. So we'll be paying commission as we're actually trading, because we'll be using a zero spread to trade currently. And then if you need the exact broker that we'll be using now, you just check in the description box there. You should be able to see the broker that we are using. You can just hit on the link there and actually just register with this broker also if you want to. So that let's actually check out this particular stuff now. Now what do we see? If I try mapping this stuff out now, look at that. Good. Now we'll just map out a trend line, just a trend line, nothing else. We're not using anything else, right? Just a trend line. Now what do you notice is happening? This particular stuff is pushing up smoothly, right? Good. Now what we're about to use now is what we call a trend continuation. Now look at it. Now what do we notice? This particular stuff, if we map out this particular stuff now again, we should see another movement at about this spot, right? Just another movement at about this spot. Good. Now what do we notice? We notice that the chart is pushing up, and suddenly at about this spot there's a strong resistance at about this spot. You are going to see it now. You see it got to this spot, it dropped down, pushed up, dropped down, pushed up, dropped down. Now if I try mapping this stuff out now, this is what I'll be having. So what do you notice? It hits the spot, and finally it took off from this region and then pushed up, right? You can see that it hits this region, it pushed up above it. After that it came back for a normal retest, right? And then it took off from this spot and came back for a second retest. Now after the second retest, what do you notice? Look at it. Now you notice that the chart actually just pushed up smoothly, right? You can literally see it, right? The chart literally just took off from that region. Good. Now this exact stuff that you just saw now is what we're about to apply here now. What do you notice? This chart kept playing out about this region. Look at it. Let me draw that out so that what I'm saying can make a lot of sense. Now you see it pushed up, dropped down, pushed up, dropped down, and then it pushed up, dropped down, and then what do you notice that about the spot? Suddenly it broke out of this spot, right? And then what do you notice after that? It came back to give a retest, right? Now this particular retest that it gave is what we call a trend continuation. That's the trend, it pushes to an extent, it has to relax a little bit, that it gets to a zone where it just can't cross. After that it breaks out of that zone, it comes back to give a retest, and it continues the trend smoothly just like that. So that if we notice now, what do we notice at about this point? Pushed up, came back to give a retest, and just like this other spot, a second retest must occur. Look at it. You see the second retest that occurred, and suddenly it pushed up. Good. Now that second retest came back and occurred at about this region. Can you see it? So that if we map out this stuff, you can see that it levels out like this, right? Good. So that after this, what do you think is going to happen? It's just going to keep pushing up again, right? Just similar as this, right? So that we can literally hold this trade for a very long time, as much as possible. But we'll just be holding this trade for the next 24 hours, guys. So that if we check out this particular stuff now, if we try zooming this stuff out a little bit now, good. Now what are we having currently at about the spot? We can notice now that at this particular spot, if I map this my trend line again, what do I notice? I notice that it actually just broke out of this spot again. Right now I intentionally waited again because I don't like taking chances, guys. I don't like taking chances. So I had to double check it. You don't have to double check it like this. Of course, you don't have to, but I had to double check it because there was a region that was being created at about this spot. So I waited for it to take off out of this region. It got to this spot and then gave a second breakout. So I was now using my B of B, right? So if you've watched our B of B video already, then you should understand exactly what I'm talking about. It's just about 3 or 4 videos behind, and you should be able to see it if you check through our playlist. So I have to apply a B of B here and to actually just make sure that these are entering would just be 100% accurate, because look at our capital, guys. Our capital is actually extremely low. So that, guys, what are we waiting for now? We can easily just zoom into this Breakout trade, right? So that our stop loss will just be just at about the spot, right? Just below this region here, so that we can actually give the chart some breathing space smoothly, just like that. And in zooming out of this trade, we just watch out for anything. Anything bearish engulfing candlestick. We can actually just plot out a trend line also as it goes up, because that's what we'll just be using. So if we see any spot at all where resistance is getting created or something like that, and the chart is giving tendency of dropping down back after that resistance, then we can actually just zoom out of this Breakout trade, because all we'll just be using here would just be a trend line. So that, let's actually storm into this Breakout trade now, guys. All right, okay, guys, so this is exactly what we're having currently. So this stuff has just been moving really smoothly, guys. It has just been moving really smoothly, and intentionally not to risk a lot on this particular trade, because, well, it's actually a smooth trade, so there's no need to actually risk a lot. Now it actually just completed at 24 hours. Now if we weren't working with a target of like 24 hours, I might have left this trade on some certain point, and I'm going to show you now. Now look at this particular stuff. Now what we're having at this particular spot now, first of all, when we actually had this movement at this particular spot, I might have left, even though I shouldn't maybe have left the trade, right? But I might have just left the trade alone. Now the reason is because this particular stuff actually created this formation here, and then it started dropping down again. But remember, we are not using any major price action, we're just using only trend lines. So because of that, I actually just had to relax, and also our 24 hours wasn't completed, and so it just moved smoothly like that. We had this a trend line got created, and this is what we started having at this particular spot, right? Telling us that it will just keep going up, right? Smoothly like that. And so it just kept pushing up like that, and after that we had a continuation again at about this spot, right? It got to this spot, couldn't cross it, right? And so it pushed up, gave a retest at about this spot, and then this was the second retest. And what happens after second retest? It continues pushing up again, right? And then what did we notice? Boom, it continued pushing up smoothly like that. So that in such a way that what we'll just be doing now currently at this particular spot is we'll just be zooming off this trade now. Why? Because our target has actually been hit already. We're to hold this trade for just 24 hours, and the 24 hours has already been hit, and we're actually having a capital of about 185 currently, because remember, guys, we're actually paying commission. Remember, we're using zero spread, so we're paying commission for that, and we're actually running a profit of over 14,000 bucks currently, approximately 14.5k, and we're actually having an equity of about 14.7k currently, smoothly just like that. So I guess we're able to pass our 50 times, right? We're able to scale up our capital way over 50 times, right? Smoothly just like that. So we'll just zoom off this particular trade now and actually see what will be happening. Right, so we're actually having about 14.7k currently. That's what we're having final on the final at about that spot. This was actually very smooth, guys. This was actually very smooth. So we just literally just picked over 14k smoothly from the market just like that. Now of course you don't get formations like this every single day, but if you can catch this particular stuff, especially on gold will just keep creating formations like this, especially gold and nasdaq. They will keep creating formations like this. So if you just track it, maybe every week you can catch something like this, maybe like twice or thrice every week. Of course not every day, but at least every week you should be able to catch it at least twice or thrice if you check out the chart perfectly well, especially on your gold and your nasdaq, right? It also happens on US30, but you might be able to catch it there maybe just once or so. And of course your synthetic indices also, like your Volatility 75, this occurs all the time there also. So that just has let's pack out so much, guys. It's a bye from guys. I'm Mr. P. Peace.